The vast emptiness of space held secrets beyond imagination, whispering stories of civilizations that rose and fell like cosmic breath. Captain Lyra of the Zarn Exploration Fleet leaned back in her command chair, her multiple eyes scanning the holographic display that showed the unremarkable solar system slowly coming into view. Earth appeared as nothing more than a blue-green dot, a tiny marble suspended in the infinite darkness. Proximity sensors hummed softly as the advanced scanning systems began their methodical sweep. Junior Science Officer Kreltak carefully calibrated the sophisticated equipment, his tentacle-like appendages moving with practiced precision. "Initial scans are complete," he announced, his translator device converting his complex native language into standard galactic communication. "Preliminary assessment confirms minimal technological development." Captain Lyra's secondary eyelids flickered with mild amusement. She had seen countless such systems during her decades of exploration. Young civilizations struggling to break free from their planetary cradle, unaware of the vast and complex galactic society that existed beyond their narrow understanding. The Zarn Collective had integrated hundreds of species over millennia, and this planet seemed destined to follow the same predictable pattern. The ship's database began compiling information. Rudimentary radio communications, primitive satellite networks, inconsistent energy production, fragmented political structures. It was a textbook example of a pre-contact civilization, barely capable of understanding its own technological limitations. What the Zarn did not know was that every scan, every moment of observation, was being carefully monitored. Deep beneath the surface of a nondescript mountain range, a complex network of quantum computers processed the incoming alien signals. Operators worked in carefully coordinated silence, their fingers dancing across holographic interfaces that seemed to breathe with living intelligence. This was the Earth Sinological Response Center, a facility so secret that its very existence was known to fewer than a dozen people in the entire world. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, the center's lead researcher, watched the alien scans with calculated calm. Her team had been preparing for this moment for decades, building layers of technological camouflage that would make the Zarn see exactly what humanity wanted them to see. Every satellite, every communication network, every technological signature had been carefully crafted to present an image of technological adolescence. "Confirm external perception protocols," she murmured into her communication device. Across the globe, subtle adjustments began. Satellite configurations shifted. Communication patterns were subtly altered. To the Zarn sensors, Earth would appear exactly as they expected, a planet of potential, but nowhere near the threat it truly represented. In orbit, hidden from even the most advanced scanning technologies, a network of quantum-encrypted satellites observed the Zarn vessel. These were not the clumsy communication relays that the aliens would detect, but something far more sophisticated. A silent guardian network that had been years in the making. The Zarn ship continued its survey, completely unaware of the intricate dance of deception happening around them. Captain Lyra reviewed the initial reports, her confidence growing with each passing moment. Another simple integration. Another civilization to be carefully guided into the galactic community. Little did she know that humanity had been watching the stars long before the Zarn had ever turned their sensors toward Earth. The planet's history was filled with moments of unexpected adaptation, of turning limitations into strengths. Every war, every technological leap, every moment of human innovation had been a preparation for this exact moment. The quantum computers beneath the mountain continued their silent work. Layers of technological camouflage held firm. To the Zarn, Earth was nothing more than a promising but primitive world. A world that could be easily approached, easily understood, easily controlled. But promises, as humanity knew better than any species in the galaxy, were meant to be broken. In the infinite darkness of space, a silent countdown had begun. The Zarn believed they were the observers. They would soon learn that they were, in fact. The Andes Mountains had always been more than just a geographical feature. For those who knew where to look, they were a fortress of human potential, housing secrets that could reshape the understanding of technological progress. Deep beneath layers of rock and advanced camouflage, the Global Collaborative Research Facility represented humanity's most ambitious scientific endeavor. Dr. Marcus Chen stood before a massive holographic display, his fingers tracing complex quantum algorithms that danced like living light. Around him, a team of researchers from every corner of the globe worked in perfect synchronization. They were more than just scientists. They were guardians of humanity's most closely held secret. The facility was a marvel of international cooperation. Funding came from sources so carefully disguised that no single government could claim ownership. Researchers had been recruited through an intricate network of academic exchanges, advanced research programs, and carefully orchestrated opportunities. Each team member had been selected not just for their intellectual brilliance, but for their ability to maintain absolute secrecy. Quantum entanglement stability at 99.7%. Announced Dr. Sophie Nkosi, her South African accent cutting through the ambient hum of sophisticated equipment. A massive holographic projection showed intricate molecular structures that seemed to breathe and shift with impossible complexity. What they were developing was beyond any conventional understanding of technology. It was a comprehensive defense system that went far beyond traditional weapons or defensive technologies. This was a complete technological ecosystem designed to protect humanity and demonstrate its potential on a galactic scale. The primary project, codenamed Horizon, represented the culmination of decades of research. It wasn't just a warship. It was a statement, a proof of concept that would show any potential alien civilization that humanity was far more than it appeared to be. Dr. Chen remembered the early days of the project. The countless late nights, the seemingly impossible challenges, the moments of breakthrough that came after years of frustration. Global tensions had slowly given way to a remarkable understanding. Every major world power had realized that their survival depended on unity, on presenting a singular front to potential extraterrestrial encounters. Energy conversion matrix is holding stable, reported Dr. Yuki Tanaka, her fingers dancing across a holographic interface that seemed to pulse with living energy. The technology they were developing could potentially rewrite the laws of physics as understood by current scientific paradigms. The facility's design was a testament to human ingenuity. Quantum encrypted communication networks that could not be intercepted. Advanced cooling systems that could manage temperatures beyond any known engineering capabilities. Power generation methods that drew energy from sources previously thought impossible. Beneath the scientific marvel was a profound philosophical approach. This wasn't about creating a weapon. This was about creating a message, a clear communication to any potential galactic civilization that humanity would not be underestimated, would not be controlled, and was prepared to defend its autonomy with every ounce of its considerable potential. Dr. Chen walked to a secondary research area, where another team was working on adaptive material technologies, metamaterials that could change their molecular structure in milliseconds, defensive systems that could predict and neutralize threats before they fully materialized. Each breakthrough was carefully documented, each discovery protected by layers of security that went far beyond traditional classification. We're not just preparing for a potential encounter, Dr. Chen often told his team. We're preparing to change the fundamental understanding of what's possible. The global nature of the project was its greatest strength. Researchers from China worked alongside colleagues from the United States. Indian quantum physicists collaborated with Brazilian material scientists. European computational experts shared insights with African energy specialists. This was humanity at its absolute best. United, focused, and driven by a singular purpose. Outside the facility, the world continued its everyday rhythm. Most humans remained blissfully unaware of the extraordinary preparation happening beneath the mountain. News cycles ran their usual stories. Economies fluctuated. Political debates continued. But here, in this hidden fortress of human potential, the future was being written. As the holographic displays continued their complex dance of data and possibility, one thing became increasingly clear. Humanity was ready. Whatever the galaxy might bring, they would face it not with fear, but with a calm, calculated preparedness that would redefine the very concept of first contact. The International Command Center hummed with a tension that defied description. Wrapped in layers of geological shielding and quantum-encrypted communication networks, the room represented the culmination of humanity's most carefully guarded preparation. Admiral Elena Rodriguez stood at the center of this technological marvel, her posture a perfect blend of calm calculation and barely contained potential. The Zarn diplomatic vessel approached with the arrogance of a predator certain of its superiority. Its massive silhouette dominated the solar system's outer regions, sensors probing and scanning with invasive precision. Every movement was being tracked, every signal analyzed by systems far more sophisticated than anything the aliens could detect. "Incoming transmission," announced Commander David Okoye, his fingers dancing across a holographic interface that seemed to breathe with living intelligence. "They're using standard galactic communication protocols." The holographic display flickered to life, revealing the primary representative of the Zarn collective. A creature of impossible geometry, its form shifted and changed, a deliberate intimidation tactic used by their species to unsettle less advanced civilizations. The translator systems activated, converting the alien communication into clear, precise English. "Inhabitants of the third planet," the alien representative began, its voice a discordant symphony of translated sounds. "The Zarn Collective extends a formal invitation of integration. Your technological development has reached a preliminary stage of potential. Resistance is unnecessary. Cooperation will ensure your species' advancement under our guidance." Inside the command center, a subtle network of communications activated. Hundreds of specialists around the globe held their collective breath. Years of preparation had led to this moment, a careful dance of deception and strategic revelation. Admiral Rodriguez allowed a momentary pause. Her fingers traced a complex pattern on a seemingly simple control interface, a gesture that would initiate a sequence planned decades in advance. "Prepare the horizon," she said softly, her words carrying the weight of humanity's most closely guarded secret. Across the solar system, a series of quantum-encrypted signals began to cascade. Hidden defense platforms, carefully positioned in orbits that had appeared empty to alien sensors, began to power up. Sophisticated camouflage systems that had maintained Earth's appearance of technological simplicity started to dissolve. The Zarn representative continued its proclamation, completely unaware of the technological symphony being orchestrated around it. Diplomatic protocols suggested total submission, a standard approach that had worked for their civilization across hundreds of contacted worlds. What made this encounter different was humanity's absolute preparedness. In orbit, the first hint of something extraordinary began to materialize. Space itself seemed to ripple, to bend in ways that defied conventional understanding. The quantum camouflage systems that had hidden humanity's true capabilities began to dissolve, revealing technological sophistication that would challenge everything the Zarn believed about emerging civilizations. "Horizon is ready," Commander Okoye reported, his voice steady. Admiral Rodriguez allowed herself the briefest moment of satisfaction. This was more than a defensive maneuver. This was a statement. A clear message to the galaxy about humanity's true potential. "Reveal the horizon," she commanded. The moment stretched into infinity. The Zarn diplomatic vessel continued its approach, its sensors still detecting nothing more than a primitive planetary civilization. Its communication continued, a mixture of diplomatic language and barely concealed threat. They would soon learn the true meaning of miscalculation. As space itself seemed to fold and reshape, the first glimpse of the horizon began to emerge. Not as a weapon of destruction, but as a technological marvel that would redefine the very understanding of spacefaring capabilities. Every system, every molecule of its design represented years of global collaboration, of human potential unleash. The galaxy was about to receive an unexpected lesson in humility, and humanity was ready to deliver it. The horizon materialized like a dream made tangible, a vessel that defied every known principle of spaceship design. Its exterior shifted and braved, molecular structures adapting in milliseconds to create the most efficient defensive and offensive configuration possible. Where other species saw spaceships as rigid constructions, humanity had created a living, thinking technological organism. Chief Science Officer Dr. Kamal Noack watched the holographic readouts with a mixture of professional pride and scientific wonder. Every system of the horizon represented decades of collaborative research, a testament to human potential that went far beyond traditional engineering concepts. The ship's hull was a marvel of metamaterial technology. Composed of adaptive nanostructures, it could alter its molecular composition faster than any known scanning system could track. Incoming energy signatures would be absorbed, redirected, or nullified before they could even register as a threat. It was less a ship and more a mobile quantum computing system with near-infinite defensive capabilities. Aboard the Zarn diplomatic vessel, sensor operators began to experience something unprecedented. Their advanced scanning systems produced conflicting data, impossible readings that challenged everything they understood about technological capabilities. The horizon seemed to exist in multiple quantum states simultaneously, its very existence a mathematical paradox. Quantum signature is inconsistent, muttered senior sensor technician Krulvax, his multiple sensory appendages trembling with confusion. The readings made no sense. One moment, the vessel appeared to be composed of traditional metallic alloys. The next, it seemed to be nothing more than a complex energy matrix. Quantum entanglement principles that should have been theoretical were being demonstrated with casual precision. The power generation system was equally revolutionary. Traditional spacefaring civilizations relied on various forms of energy extraction, plasma drives, antimatter reactions, quantum vacuum manipulation. The horizon drew power from sources that bordered on the metaphysical. Its energy matrix could pull potential from quantum fluctuations, converting theoretical energy states into practical power with impossible efficiency. Defensive systems represented the pinnacle of predictive technology. Most species designed weapons and shields as reactive systems. The horizon's technology was fundamentally different. Its computational matrix could predict potential threat vectors with such precision that defensive responses were initiated before an attack could even be conceived. Dr. Noack reviewed the initial engagement parameters. The goal was not destruction, but demonstration. Every system had been carefully calibrated to showcase humanity's technological sophistication without revealing the full extent of their capabilities. Communication systems aboard the horizon represented another breakthrough. Traditional faster-than-light communication relied on various quantum entanglement principles. Humanity had developed something far more advanced, a communication network that could potentially transmit information across dimensional boundaries, making traditional concepts of distance irrelevant. The ship's adaptive interface responded to human thought patterns with near-instantaneous precision. Neural links created a symbiotic relationship between the vessel and its crew that went beyond traditional human-machine interactions. It was less a command structure and more a collaborative intelligence. Propulsion systems defied conventional understanding. Where other civilizations saw space travel as a matter of pushing against existing physical limitations, the horizon could essentially negotiate with the fundamental fabric of space-time. Movement became a matter of mathematical suggestion, rather than mechanical propulsion. Aboard the Zarn vessel, panic began to set in. Their most advanced scanning technologies produced nothing more than a cascade of impossible data. The horizon didn't just exceed their technological understanding. It existed in a realm of technological capability that seemed almost magical in its complexity. "It's not just a ship," Dr. Noack murmured to Admiral Rodriguez. "It's a statement. A clear message about what humanity is capable of when we truly collaborate." The vessel continued its silent approach, each moment revealing another layer of technological sophistication. To the Zarn, it was becoming clear that humanity was not a civilization to be underestimated. They were not a species to be controlled or integrated. They were something entirely different, a technological marvel that would redefine the very understanding of potential. The silence was deafening. Admiral Elena Rodriguez watched the holographic displays with calculated calm, her fingers barely brushing the quantum interface that connected her consciousness to the Horizon's advanced systems. Every movement was a carefully choreographed dance of technological superiority that would redefine interstellar diplomacy. The Zarn fleet hung in space like frozen sculptures, their most advanced systems grinding to a complete halt. It wasn't destruction they faced, but something far more profound, a total technological neutralization that challenged everything they understood about warfare and technological supremacy. Communication networks are fully suppressed, reported Commander David Okoye, his voice steady. Propulsion systems across all Zarn vessels are now completely inert. What unfolded was not a battle, but a demonstration. The Horizon moved through space with a grace that defied conventional understanding, its systems reaching out with invisible tendrils of quantum intelligence. Each Zarn vessel found itself systematically dismantled, not through weapons, but through an unprecedented form of technological intervention. Defensive shields became transparent, their complex energy matrices simply unraveled by the Horizon's advanced systems. Communication networks dissolved into white noise, encrypted channels reduced to meaningless fragments. Propulsion systems froze, their most advanced molecular drives rendered completely inoperable. Dr. Camille Nowak monitored the technological deconstruction with scientific fascination. "It's not about destruction," he murmured to the team around him. "It's about demonstrating absolute control." The psychological impact was instantaneous and devastating. The Zarn had approached Earth believing themselves to be the ultimate arbiters of technological progress. Now they found themselves completely neutralized without a single shot being fired. Their most advanced systems, developed over millennia of galactic exploration, became nothing more than expensive metallic sculptures drifting in the void of space. Each Zarn vessel experienced a complete systems shutdown that went beyond traditional electronic warfare. Quantum entanglement principles were used to essentially reset their technological infrastructure. Complex computational systems were reduced to their most basic states, with every advanced feature carefully isolated and neutralized. "Defensive protocols are holding," Commander Okoye reported. "0 casualties detected across all Zarn vessels." This was humanity's true power, not destruction, not violent conquest, but the ability to demonstrate technological superiority with surgical precision and remarkable restraint. Aboard the Zarn flagship, senior officers experienced a collective state of technological shock. Their most advanced scanning systems produced nothing. No viable data, no method of counteraction, no understanding of how their entire fleet had been so completely neutralized. Admiral Rodriguez allowed herself the briefest moment of satisfaction. Years of preparation, decades of secret research, a global collaborative effort, all culminating in this single moment of profound demonstration. The quantum interface responded to her slightest thought. The Horizon continued its silent approach, a technological marvel that seemed to breathe with intelligent potential. Every system was a carefully calibrated message. Humanity would not be underestimated, would not be controlled, and most importantly, would not be threatened. Communication specialists monitored the Zarn communications network. The panic was palpable, a mixture of technological disbelief and growing understanding that everything they knew about galactic hierarchy had just been fundamentally challenged. Psychological impact is tracking exactly within projected parameters, Dr. Nowak noted, reviewing the complex data streams. The neutralization wasn't just a technological demonstration, it was a carefully designed psychological intervention. The Zarn had approached Earth as conquerors. They would leave as students. In the vast darkness of space, the Horizon continued its silent approach. Not a weapon of destruction, but a living testament to human potential. A clear message to the galaxy about what humanity could achieve when its most brilliant minds worked in perfect, unified collaboration. The bloodless victory was complete. Information travels faster than light in the vast network of galactic communication. The encounter between humanity and the Zarn collective spread through alien communication channels like a quantum pulse, transforming from a simple first contact scenario into a paradigm-shifting event that would redefine interstellar understanding. The Galactic Communication Hub, a massive nexus of information exchange, located in the neutral zone between three major stellar civilizations, became a center of unprecedented activity. Quantum communication relays buzzed with encrypted transmissions, data packets carrying the first detailed accounts of humanity's technological demonstration. Chief Analyst Vorlak of the Galactic Research Consortium reviewed the incoming data streams with growing disbelief. The reports defied every established understanding of technological development. A previously unknown civilization had not just defended itself. It had demonstrated a level of technological sophistication that made centuries of galactic research seem like primitive sketches. "This is impossible," muttered senior researcher Zintera, her multispectral visual receptors scanning the data repeatedly. The Horizon's technological capabilities challenged fundamental assumptions about technological progression. It wasn't just advanced, it was revolutionary. Across multiple star systems, research teams began intensive analysis. The neutralization of an entire Zarn fleet without a single weapon discharge became the subject of intense scientific scrutiny. Universities, research centers, and technological think tanks redirected their entire focus to understanding this unprecedented event. The psychological impact was equally profound. For millennia, the Zarn Collective had approached emerging civilizations with a sense of absolute technological superiority. They had integrated hundreds of species, guiding their technological development with a mixture of calculated intervention and controlled progression. Humanity had just rewritten those rules entirely. Communication networks began to fragment. Some alien civilizations viewed the event with terror, others approached it with scientific curiosity. A few saw it as an opportunity for potential alliance. The monolithic understanding of galactic technological hierarchy began to crumble. Dr. Elena Rodriguez and her team monitored the galactic response from their secure facility. Every communication, every data stream was carefully analyzed. This was more than a first contact scenario. It was a carefully orchestrated demonstration of human potential. "They're trying to understand our technological jump," noted Dr. Camille Noack, reviewing complex communication intercepts. "But they can't comprehend the collaborative nature of our development." Indeed, what most alien civilizations failed to understand was the true source of humanity's technological marvel. It wasn't about individual brilliance or isolated research. It was about global collaboration, about bringing together the most diverse minds on the planet to solve complex challenges. The Galactic Communication Hub began to receive desperate communication requests from various species. Some sought diplomatic clarification. Others wanted technological exchange. A few showed signs of pure technological panic. Vorlak compiled a preliminary report that would shake the foundations of galactic understanding. The document detailed how a previously unnoticed civilization had not just defended itself, but had demonstrated technological capabilities that made most established spacefaring species look like primitive technological children. Research teams began intensive studies. They analyzed every available data point, every captured communication, every fragment of information about the horizon. But the more they studied, the more confused they became. The technological principles seemed to defy conventional understanding. Quantum communication relays continued to buzz with activity. Encrypted channels carried fragments of information, speculation, and growing understanding. Humanity had done more than make first contact. They had fundamentally challenged the entire concept of technological progression. "We are not looking at a new species," Dr. Noack explained to his team. "We are looking at an entirely new approach to technological development." The ripples of the encounter would continue to spread. Each communication, each analysis, each moment of reflection would slowly transform the galactic understanding of what was possible. Humanity had stepped onto the interstellar stage, not with weapons or threats, but with a demonstration of collaborative potential that would echo through generations. The galaxy was changing, and humanity had just become its most unexpected catalyst. The diplomatic chamber aboard the neutral space station gleamed with an almost artificial perfection. Representatives from dozens of galactic civilizations sat in carefully arranged seating, their collective tension palpable. At the center of the room, a holographic representation of Earth hung suspended, no longer a mysterious blue-green dot, but a symbol of unexpected potential. Admiral Elena Rodriguez approached the central platform with measured steps. Behind her, a carefully selected team represented the most diverse cross-section of human expertise. Scientists, diplomats, engineers, and cultural experts stood united, a living demonstration of the collaborative spirit that had defined humanity's technological breakthrough. The Czarn diplomatic lead, High Commissioner Zelnera, appeared distinctly uncomfortable. Where once they had approached with arrogance, now they carried themselves with a mixture of respect and barely concealed anxiety. The technological demonstration had stripped away centuries of perceived galactic superiority. Diplomatic protocols have been thoroughly reconsidered, began Dr. Marcus Chen, stepping forward as the primary human spokesperson. His voice carried the calm precision of someone who understood the magnitude of the moment. Humanity does not seek conquest. We seek understanding. The chamber erupted in a cacophony of translated languages. Translator devices worked overtime, converting complex linguistic structures into comprehensible communication. Each species present wrestled with a fundamental recalibration of their understanding of emerging civilizations. Representatives from the Quantum Collaborative, a loose alliance of technologically advanced species, listened with intense scrutiny. The neutralization of the Czarn fleet had challenged everything they understood about technological development. Humanity had not just demonstrated technological capability, they had rewritten the rules of first contact. We propose a new framework of interstellar engagement, Dr. Chen continued. His presentation began, revealing carefully selected insights into human technological development. Not a complete exposure of their capabilities, but enough to demonstrate their potential for collaborative innovation. The holographic display shifted, showing moments of human technological achievement. Not military conquests, but collaborative scientific breakthroughs. Medical innovations that had transformed planetary health. Environmental restoration projects. Technological solutions that addressed complex global challenges. High Commissioner Zelnera requested a formal hearing. Your demonstration was unprecedented, they stated, their translator device capturing the mixture of respect and lingering uncertainty. We seek to understand the principles behind your technological development. Admiral Rodriguez allowed herself the slightest smile. The diplomatic dance had begun, but on humanity's terms. The neutral space station became a crucible of potential. Diplomatic teams from various civilizations began intense discussions. The encounter had revealed more than just technological capabilities. It had showcased a fundamentally different approach to species development. Dr. Kamil Noack presented a series of collaborative research proposals. Instead of demanding technological exchange, humanity offered partnership, research initiatives that would benefit multiple species, technological frameworks based on mutual understanding rather than hierarchical control. The Quantum Collaborative representatives exchanged cryptic communications. Humanity had done something unprecedented. They had entered the galactic stage, not as conquerors, but as potential partners. We do not seek to replace existing galactic structures, Dr. Chen explained. We seek to contribute, to collaborate, to expand the understanding of what's possible when diverse minds work together. Each species present began to understand that humanity represented something entirely different. Not a civilization to be controlled or integrated, but a potential catalyst for broader technological and cultural understanding. The diplomatic session continued, each moment revealing layers of potential. Humanity had transformed a potential conflict into an opportunity for broader galactic cooperation. As the session progressed, one thing became increasingly clear. The galaxy would never be the same again. Years after the initial encounter, the true depth of humanity's preparation became increasingly clear. What had appeared to be a singular moment of technological demonstration was, in fact, the culmination of a multigenerational strategy that defied conventional understanding of species development. Deep within the Global Collaborative Research Facility, archival records began to reveal a stunning narrative. The preparation for potential extraterrestrial contact had not begun with the current generation, but had been a carefully orchestrated plan spanning decades, perhaps even centuries. Dr. Elena Rodriguez sat in a secure archive room, surrounded by holographic displays that showed intricate timelines of human technological development. Each breakthrough, each scientific advancement, now appeared as a carefully placed piece of a much larger puzzle. The first hints of the strategy could be traced back to the early 21st century. Small research initiatives, seemingly unconnected, had been quietly laying groundwork. Quantum computing developments, advanced materials research, collaborative international scientific programs that transcended political boundaries. It was never about a single breakthrough. Dr. Kamil Nowak explained to a select group of international researchers. It was about creating a fundamental approach to technological and social development. The global nature of the preparation became increasingly apparent. No single nation had driven the entire process. Instead, it had been a truly collaborative effort that crossed cultural, political, and technological boundaries. Research centers in Beijing worked in silent coordination with facilities in Sao Paulo. Scientific teams in Nairobi collaborated with research groups in Stockholm. Psychological preparation had been equally sophisticated. Educational systems had been subtly transformed, creating generations of thinkers who understood the value of collaborative problem-solving. Cultural narratives had been carefully adjusted, promoting a global identity that went beyond traditional national boundaries. Technological development followed a principle of deliberate camouflage. Each advancement was carefully measured, designed to appear evolutionary rather than revolutionary. The goal was not to showcase superiority, but to maintain a strategic level of technological ambiguity. Archived communication networks revealed a stunning level of coordination. What appeared to be independent research initiatives were, in fact, part of a carefully synchronized global effort. Each breakthrough was a calculated step in a much larger strategy. The psychological preparation was perhaps most remarkable. Humanity had prepared not just technologically, but philosophically. Educational systems had been transformed to create generations of thinkers who understood collaborative problem-solving at a fundamental level. We were preparing for more than just a potential conflict, Dr. Rodriguez reflected. We were preparing to demonstrate a fundamentally different approach to species development. Economic systems had been gradually transformed. Resource allocation strategies shifted towards global collaborative research. Technological patents were increasingly designed to be shared rather than hoarded. The entire economic model had been slowly recalibrated to support global scientific collaboration. The military-industrial complex that had defined previous centuries had been systematically dismantled and transformed. Defense strategies evolved from confrontation to collaborative problem-solving. Technological development was increasingly seen as a means of addressing global challenges rather than creating potential conflict. Communication technologies had been developed with an eye towards potential extraterrestrial contact, not as weapons of communication, but as bridge-building technologies that could potentially connect fundamentally different forms of intelligence. Each layer of preparation represented a deliberate, calculated approach. The encounter with the Zarn Collective was not a moment of sudden capability, but the result of generations of careful, strategic preparation. We didn't just prepare for first contact, Dr. Nowak said, reviewing the extensive archives. We prepared to redefine what first contact could mean. The global collaborative effort had created something unprecedented. Not just a technological capability, but a fundamental reimagining of how a species could develop. Humanity had prepared not to conquer, but to collaborate. Not to dominate, but to understand. As the years passed, the full depth of the strategy became increasingly clear. The encounter with the Zarn Collective was not an endpoint, but a beginning. A demonstration of a fundamentally different approach to species development. The stars themselves seemed to whisper a new truth. Humanity was not just another civilization. They were architects of an entirely new possibility.